will start by a pretty general presentation with a few slides only, just to give you some context. And after, I will go in the Mundi offer, so meaning what kind of feature you will find in Mundi, and I will try to make some focus on new feature that were released a few weeks ago, and also next things that will come on the platform. And at the end, I will just give you some really simple advice on how to join Mundi in order for you to use the feature I presented before, and also to ask for new things or anything that could help you regarding a platform like Mundi. So to start the presentation, so I just remind that Mundi is one of the DIAS that is working with the European Commission and ESA. So we're handling all the Sentinel data and all the satellite like Landsat satellite, and we have a growing data offer that is continually growing. So we use cloud in order to make this data available and in order to have our users developing their service. So it's really a very important part. And so we try to deliver a service that would be reliable for most people and also that can generate some business. So the central point of a DIAS is the use of EO data. So we want people to come to Mundi to combine this data, to be able to use it, to create some added value on the data, and being able to use petabyte of data with less effort in order for them to spend less time, I would say, in retrieving the data and more time in their processing and their service. So in order to do that, so we have, I would say, four pillars that we rely on. So first one, as I say, it's a robust cloud, which is handling the data and also all the services that are created by our users and by ourselves. So what is also a very important point is all the data that we have on Mundi. So we have between 6 and 7 petabytes of data that is accessible for all users for free. And we have also tools that I will talk more after, and it's also trying to answer users' need. And we have also support that could be in different ways. So we have a technical support that is helping people, for example, to access the data efficiently using our APIs, our catalog. But we have also a business support, which means that when people want to promote a service, we have a team that is dedicated to show the service and try to find new customer of service. So as I say, one very important part of Mundi is the data. So on our website, you can explore our data very easily with a easy to use client. And through this client, you will be able to browse all the collection of data we have. So it starts with the Sentinel. So we have Sentinel 1, 2, 3, and 5P available. A special focus on Sentinel 2, where we have, I would say, the full collection and the full data since the beginning of the mission. So that's an important point. And we even had some even more L2A data that's what you can find on ESA, because we processed our own L2A data since the beginning of the mission. Other important thing is the core services. So you can access 5 of the 6 core services currently. So some are hosted by Mundi, but others will be accessed through tools that we provide in order to have an efficient access to this data. I will talk again about this on different slides. Other missions that we are also hosted, as I say, is Landsat 7 and 8. And we have coming mission like Cosmos SkyMed, which is a SAR collection, which is coming. And also we will have very high resolution data before the end of the year. So we're working on it, and we're almost there to offer this kind of collection to our users. So we also have others data that are more supporting some services like GIS maps, and data that could help. Here it's mentioned geologic, but we are also working on a weather service which will provide some data regarding weather forecast. So here is an overview of Mundi. So now I'm going to focus on some features that are part of the Mundi offer. So first one is the Mundi Jupyter Notebook. So we have an instance of a notebook running of Mundi, which is open for all our users. So we use a notebook in order to explain to people how our APIs are working. So like it was presented before, we have an open search APIs, which will help you to browse our catalog. We have also a CSW API. So all these APIs are following the standards promoted by the European Commission, which is in a way easy to switch to our service because you will find the same standard maybe that's the one you were using before. So other important APIs we have is OGC interfaces that are also free to use through the notebook, but also on any application you could have. It's not only on the notebook, you could use it from your computer as well. On the Jupyter Notebook, you will also find example of how to use CMM's data. So it's marine data and also atmospheric data through the CAMS services. So here you have example of how to access the data and how to display it. So all these notebooks are made in order to have access to the product, but also trying to ease the fusion of data in order to combine all these sources of data to try to solve some problem you could face. So we see in this different type of data a good opportunity to bring new services. So the notebook, we see it as a prototyping tools, but it can also be a way to prepare your high processing that will come after, and it could also stay on Jupyter Notebook because we could have some evolution to the Jupyter Notebooks that we have on Mundi that are for prototyping. But if you need to go on a different step, we can power it with Spark, for example, which will help you to do high computing, and that could be useful. And we could even set up for you a Jupyter Hub instance for your community in order for them to work on the Mundi data and have your specific space of work. So Jupyter Notebook is one of the important tools we are promoting. The other thing we work on is on an example of, I would say, of website that anybody could develop. So it's based on the Mundi APIs. We call it Mundi Explorer because it's really exploring the possibilities of Mundi. So through this page, which is open, you will be able to display images. So as you can see on the screenshot here, it's a Sentinel-2 images, which was from 1st of May. So you have here the source code to do the same page on yourself. So the other thing that could be possible is see the statistic regarding all the products we have on Mundi. So here is regarding the size of the product, but you could work on a map that is displaying how much product you have on a specific area, if it's of interest for you. So here you will have help to use the good APIs to access this data. The other thing which is possible through this page, Mundi Explorer, is also search for products. You will be able to use open search APIs or CSW in order just to look for a product. So this is very simple because we have only 5 criteria that are possible, but you could have the number of criteria you need for your application. So, and most important for this, all the source code used on this website is also shared through this page, where you will be able to copy paste the code or just have a look at the code in order to understand how we do different things. So that's a very important thing for us in order to guide people in the first steps to develop their application. So other point which is important, but I won't spend too much time on it, is that on Mundi you will find the same products that you have on the Ether hubs. So same format and same metadata. So you will find it. So you will maybe find that the download speed is maybe better for you depending the area you are. But anyway, the product is the same. So what we try to develop as an offer is a kind of common format for all this data. So we started with Sentinel-1, bringing some products instead of having, I will say, classic TIFF, we move it to the cloud optimized GeoTIFF. And as soon as we did that, we found that people are using differently the data. They do not need to download the full product. They could access the area they need, and it lowers the traffic, and it also help people to spend more time on the processing and less time retrieving, I will say, useless pixels. So the COG format is really made in order to have efficient access to the data. And also, as you can use it on different other formats, we could generalize this approach to other format. So we know that Landsat 8, we work on it. It's pretty efficient on Landsat 8. And for Sentinel 5P is also really of interest to have this COG format. So we have the processing to do any format to COG. We know that it can really help people to access the data efficiently. So that's why it's part of our offer. Other thing that is possible to Mundi is the access to all the historical data. So when you have a Mundi account, a free Mundi account, you're able to reload. So meaning taking products from the archive to the online status, you can reload more than 300 products a month with a single account. So which can allow you to go to search for a specific area since 2014 with no problem in a single month. So meaning 300 scenes. So it's possible to do that. So if you have more needs, we could also have a dedicated plan for that. We just want the users to be aware that ESA is changing its rolling policies. So it starts with Sentinel-1. Last year, they start to move a lot of products to the archive. So meaning you have a kind of mechanism to retrieve data that is limited. So if you have specific need of historical data, we really have solution in order to solve your issue. So other point that is also can be useful for some customer is the processing on demand. So meaning you wanna, for example, compute some cloud mask on a specific region for all the new data that are coming, and you want it done as soon as the data is available. Mundi could do it for you. And we have a long list of processing. So here is just example. So we have a list of processing that we can run for you and make the data available. And we can even handle your own processing and make it running for all the new data coming or for a specific period of time, having the processing running. So what we try to do in terms of cost for the service, it will be less expensive than if you do it yourself. So as we are using, I would say, our infrastructure to do that, we want to lower the cost of this kind of processing, handling the processing for you and doing it for you. So last point regarding the Mundi offer is that we have also a marketplace where we present all the features that I talk about, and this marketplace is growing also with I will say applications that are coming from partners and developed between Atos and these partners. So for example, we have a data cube that arrived in September. So it's a work between Atos and Meo, an Italian company. So for now, this data cube is in trial access for all Mundi users. So you can have a look at it through the Mundi website, and you can even work with either the API or the GUI. As you want to do it. So this will allow you to do some temporal analysis and some graphical, some figures, on specific collection. So for free, you can do that on. I think there is 3 collections for now. So it's Sentinel-2, L1C, and L2A that is available, and also Landsat 8 collection. So this is accessible since the beginning of September. And the other item in the market that is coming is a Sentinel Hub. So maybe you're familiar with the Sentinel Hub that is already on. So for now, it's based on data that are on Amazon. So here we talk about the Sentinel Hub, which will have full access to the Mundi data, and even boarding the future called Bring Your Own Data. So meaning you could put your data on a bucket on Mundi and expose this data to anybody which needs it, or for yourself because you want to access your data through OGC interfaces easily, only selecting a specific area of interest. So this is fully possible. So the Sentinel Hub is not for now displayed on the marketplace, but you can already ask for a trial access to it in order to see how it works. So yeah, here is an example of what you can get from the Sentinel Hub APIs, different layers. On a very short time, you can have processed data very quickly. So to join Mundi, I will go quickly on this topic. So you just have to go on our website. You click on register on the top right side of the page. And after, you will be able to explore our marketplace, where you will find what I talk about. So here you can see the data cube, the notebook, and all the collection I talk about. And you will also be able to explore the data through our tool in order to see if the data you are looking for is there. So as we have most of the data that is available on the hub, you will find it. And here you can also have a way of, I will say, the command, the API command to retrieve the data through the GUI. So it's really helping to go from the interface to the APIs. So you can try all I talk about on this URL, so mundiwebservice.com. And if you have any question, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.